I got to be honest with you. I am not a petty person. I never begrudge anybody. I really like to think that that's true. I don't begrudge others' success. I genuinely root for humanity. You know, I want to see people do well. Certainly, if you actually, if you work hard and you really chase down dreams. And I'm really, really rooting for you from a distance. I've always respected greatness, but in this world of Instagram and this world of flesh and this world of immediacy, right, and this world of in large part blatant disrespect, and I'm not talking about LeBron, just in general, right? The absence of morality in a lot of situations. That doesn't mean that decorum doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that optics don't matter. And a couple of games ago, they're getting waxed, right? Ugly. LeBron's not feeling it. All right, I'm checking out. All right, we brought it up on the show. Didn't hammer him for it. Certainly didn't like it. I didn't give him a pass, but not what I would do. Probably not what you would do. Definitely not what Tiki would do as a former player. But, we didn't want to hold him to the fire too hard. It was when maybe he really was getting treatment, plays a lot of minutes, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to last night. And Devin Booker just basically hangs a 50 spot on him. We get to see the realization of how poorly constructed the Lakers have been this year. And there's a moment where, characters revealed. And I think a great example of this is golf. You go and play around with somebody, and I think you get a pretty good sense of what kind of person they are. Are they the type of person when they hit a great shot? And I say this because this used to be me, and I made sure I changed this. When you hit a great shot, nobody better on the course, right? Everything's good, great conversationalist. When things go awry, the head goes down, the breathing becomes more pronounced. You start hearing the clubs, bang into the bag. Occasional, maybe you punch the bag, you hear something hit the cart. And for the other three people in the group, it's like, geez, why are we out? And I'm talking about how my friends probably used to feel. Why are we out here with B again? I mean, we love them, but why are we subjecting ourselves to this? And I had to change. I was just like, that's not who I want to be. It was way before I became a dad. And then surgeries, back surgery, just able to get back on the course. I've totally changed. Age, calms people down. Totally changed my demeanor, my decorum, right? Good shot, bad shot, indifferent shot. You know what? Smiles. What's the line from Willie Nelson? You should spend more time on the golf course looking. Oh, he's got he's got two rules. He said this in his book. He's got two rules. When you're playing golf, make sure you spend more time looking up than down. And that makes great sense because when you're having a bad round, at least, I used to kind of trudge to myself, look down, embarrassed, mad, everything, right? You don't look up. You don't enjoy the beauty around you, to Willie's point. And Willie's other point is anytime you go in the weeds to go find your ball, make sure you spark a little something up. It's up to the individual. Make of it what you will, right? I say this because nobody wants to be around people who are front runners, right? Who are glory hounds when things are going well and, petulant babies when they don't, and the incessant, ass kissing. I don't know how else to say it of LeBron James, right? It's all good. I mean, look at LeBron James's Instagram account. All pictures of LeBron. And listen, of course he does great things. I always say that. He does a lot of good things. But LeBron, the narcissist, and that's what he is. I mean, he refers to himself as the king. That's all you need to know. Well, that was a peasant move last night. Kings don't do that. Very unbecoming of kings. That's not behavior that is accepted in the palace. It's just not. It shouldn't be. So I understand that, this was a real taxing year for LeBron James. Injuries, absolutely. Quick turnaround from the bubble, absolutely. Anthony Davis made of tissue paper, absolutely. Not enough pure shooters around them, absolutely. No doubt, no question. LeBron, not quite what he was, absolutely. And I'm not going to get on him for diminished skill, and it's there a little bit. You can see it. Not quite the same player. He's just not. But in 3 days, we got to look at his character when things go awry. And that's an ugly look for somebody that's supposed to be, not the king, the leader of, certainly of community, he's an idol of so many. And please don't feed me this nonsense, because I got this a lot on social media. Well, he went over to see Devin Booker after the game and he signed the jersey. First of all, he signed the jersey. He actually wrote a crown. He drew a crown. Who the hell does that? Michael Jordan would never do that. Kobe Bryant would never do that. You sign your name. You might write Mamba out, whatever you do. You're not going to, I don't think Kobe's going to draw a snake. I don't think. And MJ wired totally different. And he went through this with the Pistons with their classless exit from the court. There is a responsibility to the game. And I know that a lot of you don't care about this stuff anymore. But I do. As long as I've got a microphone and as long as I've got a camera, and I plan on having both for a long time, okay? As long as I have those two outlets, I will espouse this. Now, I won't get on my high horse too much, and I think for somebody who's in his 40s, I think that my approach is fairly modernized. I think I get it. I think I get the trends and the overall, the overall vibe of today's youth. I don't think I project myself old. I think I've got a very youthful exuberance and an understanding of what young people want, even though I'm obviously not young. But I don't care how young you are. It's not acceptable. Just walk off the court. And here's the other thing, too. The picture with Devin Booker. That's even worse than I would, and I still would get on him for not shaking hands. No acknowledgement of an amazing achievement for a bunch of kids outside of CP3 who haven't done a damn thing in the league as a team. If anything, that's definitely the team you go over and say, well done. And you don't do it in the bowels of the arena where nobody can see it. There's symbolism. Like, that matters, right? So the picture with Booker, that's even more of an illumination of his narcissistic ways. Because, he's got no time for DeAndre Ayton or, any of these, or Bridges, right? Or Payne, not mess around with those guys, right? There were 11 other guys that were dressed in Phoenix Suns uniforms last night. So you saddle up to the one guy who dropped 47, and because he's one of the 5 or 6 young best players in the game, you can put your arm around him and have that go all over social media. Oh, I can surround myself with this guy. I can acknowledge this guy. I can acknowledge this young man's performance because he's great, and I can relate to that. But some of the other cats on the other team, they can't shine my shoes. I'm not wasting my time shaking their hand. It's disgraceful. Everybody's out there kissing his behind. What a joke. I am so happy. I am thrilled. And there's a reason why I preface this segment with, I never begrudge success. I honor it. I really, truly do. You know me. You know that that's true. That's not just me saying that. That is a true statement from my heart. But I am so happy that he slinked off that court a loser last night. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled the season's over. I'm thrilled I don't have to hear about LeBron James anymore. And I got news for you. And I told you this last week, and guess who said it today? Doesn't mean that it's, 1,000% right, but I respect his opinion. What did Stephen A. say today on First Take? That's it. Lakers won't win again. LeBron will not win again with the Lakers. Stephen A. said that today. I said that a week and a half ago. If they didn't win this series, it's over. Because he's not the same guy. AD's made of tissue paper. I'm not sure they have the right coach. They got a bunch of guys who can't shoot. I'm thrilled. I'm tired of LeBron James. I'm done. Tired. And I'm sure that he called up his boy Chris Paul, did the right thing. Of course. But, there are certain things that the public needs to say. Like Chris Paul, and I'm sure this doesn't even bother Chris Paul. It bothers me more than it probably bothers Chris Paul. But I think Chris Paul deserved that public moment, not a coronation of, you're now the best player, but an acknowledgement where you go over, you dap it up, you hug it up, you pound it out, go get him. That should have been a picture right there. That's his boy, it's his best friend. Walks off the court. Wake. And I can't believe how many of you don't care. I don't get it. I don't get it, I don't get it, man. So my little guy's playing flag football, and he's pretty damn good. He's good. First game, scored 4 touchdowns, every one. Next game, he scored 3 of the 4. Last game, we lost in a playoff game, right? And he did well, he did well, all right? But he's got a penchant when somebody grabs his flag or he gets stopped or goes out of bounds or whatever, cries a little bit. And not crying because he's a wimp, he's crying because he's competing fiercely. Daddy's not having that. Even though I love the fierce competition and the desire, and he's 6, the desire to want to win. No. Okay, you can cry once. You're crying every time somebody's grabbing your flag, you're sitting down. It's not how we play the game. Like, that's how it starts. That's how it starts. It's how it builds. You know? I just, D-Cell, I am so happy that he's done. I'm so thrilled. It's over.
I can tell. I mean, you seem very happy.
Thrilled.
You know, I'm not supporting him walking off the court without shaking hands. And
yep.
I can't say that it really bothers me, though. I wouldn't teach that to somebody, but yeah. I can't say that it really bothers me.
Listen, I understand that I am wired more in the old school manner because that's my generation. I get it. You know, and I'd also be disingenuous. There were times in college where I didn't exhibit the best sportsmanship. And you know what? My dad verbally chewed me out. My coach benched me. I'm not saying I was, the holy athlete. No, I wasn't Tim Tebow. Number one, I wasn't that good. Number two, I was selfish and a little petulant myself. But that was when I was 19, 20, 21. You know, I'm in my 40s. LeBron's a couple of years away from 40. You got to know that the league is watching. And the crazy thing, whether it's Payne, whether it's Johnson, whether it's Ayton, whether it's Bridges, these guys grew up idolizing him. They just beat you. Show them respect. And not in the tunnel where nobody can see it. Show them some outward, visible respect. Man. All right, let me play a little. And by the way, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take calls on this. I want to take calls on this whenever I come out swinging like this. Now, there's nothing you can change that'll change my opinion, but I will hear you out. Like, I'm not going to change my mind, and you very well might not change yours. But if you disagree with me, I'd love to know why. And if you agree with me, I would also love for you to reinforce that. We're taking calls. I'm going to let you speak. Do you think I'm overreacting? Do you think it's a little petty thing that I'm picking on LeBron? Because I picked on LeBron in the past. Like, maybe picked is the wrong word. I have probably been more forceful on air in some of my dissatisfaction with some of the things LeBron James has done over the years. Also very quick to prop him up many times because he's earned that with a ton of things he does in the community, etc. But that doesn't give you a free pass to just, act like a 12-year-old and not get called out for it. 2 games in a row. Now, let's hope that in Space Jam 2, the Toon Squad isn't down by 13 points with 3.5 minutes to go because he's going to walk out on Bugs Bunny. He'll walk out, and they're going to get smoked. LeBron's going to leave. Jordan would never leave. Jordan stuck around. So I'm going to take calls on this. 855-212-4227. Listen, I would also hope that you know this about me. This is not me getting on the air and saying this and not believing it, trying to get a rise out of you, dropping a hot take. It is weak. And to me, it is a look into his narcissistic characteristics. Everything on Instagram, flexing, shirt off, the crown. Come on, dude, you're 36 years old, man. I mean, I can understand if you're 17 years old, you're trying to get dates, you're trying to get girls. I mean, I'm sure I'd be doing the same thing. If you're 22, oh, look what I'm wearing. I'm tripping tonight. I'm wet tonight. Hey, meet me after. Absolutely. I get it. Who are you showing off for? Like, everything's about him. And it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts because for somebody that has been, and rightfully glorified, and propped up on this pedestal that for many is beyond reproach, I feel that it's my job to point out the inconsistencies with his character because very few other people have the guts to do it. And I'm going to do it. And I've always done it. And I always will do it. I have no problem doing it. None. Took a pass with China. I mean, we know LeBron. All the great things he does. Everybody, well, LeBron the best. have a couple of missteps, and by the way, a few egregious. Now, last night, I'm not saying last night was egregious. It was in the sporting sense, but there's been other things that have happened. Google it, look it up with LeBron. Not off the court. I don't mean in terms of getting in trouble, model citizen, but weighing into situations prematurely and getting it wrong. China, keeping his mouth shut, doesn't want to impact his money. Those are things, I don't forget that stuff. So I'm going to call it the way I see it. He's the second or third best player of all time. And the player in front of him would have never pulled that garbage last night, nor would he pulled that garbage the game before when you're getting your brains beat and walk off the court symbolically. What you're saying is, I'm not a part of this, man. This team that I'm on, not good enough, and I don't want to be associated with these guys because we're getting our brains beat in. I'm the king. I'm better than this. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're the best player on the team. And by the way, that night that you walked off, how many free throws you took? None. Settle for jump shots. Maybe if you attacked the rim a little bit more, you may have won. Now, last night, Kyle Kuzma should spend a month in the G League. That's how bad he was last night. LeBron was fine statistically. Not going in there. And he's 36. He's amazing. But enough is enough. There's two sides to the coin. Most of the time with LeBron, it is shiny. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.